Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're doing another itinerary for you today. This time we are starting with Resilient Lady and going to be going through my ideal itinerary, what I would do day to day if I was going on the Resilient Lady out of Portsmouth in the UK. So we're going to get into restaurants, activities, shows, port stops, all the things. So with that, let's get into it. Alright, so if you are new here, hi, I'm Jennifer, your cruise bestie, and I am a travel agent, but also just like sharing cruise tips and tricks about Virgin Voyages. So this is kind of your go-to channel, is what I'm trying to be for anything and everything Virgin cruising, even the other cruise lines. I'll get into some of the other cruise lines later on, but because I'm going on Valiant Lady here in a couple days, that's kind of the focus right now. So if you are into that, please make sure to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. We've got a lot of vlogs and other content coming up. But with that, let's dive into our Resilient Lady itinerary. All right, so starting out, we are boarding out of Portsmouth in the UK. So boarding day, we're gonna start with boarding whatever time you end up choosing when you go through your check-in process. So for those of you that are looking to book a trip out of the UK, I offer my clients early boarding for certain cabin levels. So early boarding typically starts around 1:30, and that is for Rockstar status, VIP status, or Splash of Romance. Deep Blue Extras will also be included in this boarding group. Once you get on board, you will want to make sure that you immediately start booking your additional dining if you weren't able to book it 45 days prior to your embarkation. Make sure you book any spot treatments, activities you want to do on board that require booking, kind of like the grog walk or the coffee class or shot for shot. Any of those things you will want to book ahead of time because they do fill up fast. You'll also want to make sure you book any shows that aren't first come first serve. Make sure you look at the whole week because there are some that repeat, so if you can't get into it on the first night, there may be another night that you can get into if it fits into your schedule. Once you get all that done, make sure that you do your muster station and your safety video super quick, and then once you're done, you don't have to worry about anything else until sail away. So sail away is going to be around 5:30 p.m. You'll want to make your way to the pool deck or above the pool deck, or if you're just not wanting to join the party, the dock is another great place to watch sail away. But if you are wanting to join in the party, the pool deck is where you want to be. They'll be handing out free champagne to everybody. You'll get to meet the Happenings cast and see all of that. So that is going to start at 5:30 and goes until around 7 o'clock. I would say go hang out for a little bit, have some free champagne, and then plan on doing dinner around 7:30, depending on what you're wanting to do that evening. Embarkation big day can be stressful for some people. If you're getting on early, you have plenty of time to explore the ship, grab some food, and hang out. But if you're a later boarder, you're gonna be cramming in a lot of things all at once before the sail away. So depending on what you're doing, early dinner may make sense, and you may want to switch around restaurants. So just keep that in mind as I'm going through this itinerary. This is based on boarding earlier in the day, and you can shift it depending on what other activities you're interested in. So I would say 7 p.m., do dinner at someplace simple, either Razzle Dazzle or the Galley. Razzle Dazzle is something that's really quick. Like, I think we were in and out in an hour on Scarlet Lady last year. So it's great for boarding day because there's no stress, it's good food, and it's simple. You'll be able to find something for everybody there. Another fun option would be Gun Bay for boarding day, but because you get to meet other people if you're in a smaller group, I prefer to do that on another day, which we'll get into later, but definitely find something easy for the first night. And then after that, there are a few shows going on, so you'll have to take a look at your particular schedule because some of the shows do rotate. But I would say for me, the grog walk is something that I prioritize for the first day. It's so fun to meet other people at the start of your cruise. That way you can hang out with them later. You see them around the ship, say hi, all those kinds of things. So 9 p.m. is the first grog walk. They do two different ones on this sailing that I'm looking at. And this was, I forget what it was called. It was Europe Days. I'll have to look, I'll put it up here once I double check, but grog walk around 9 p.m. So doing that earlier dinner allows you to get some food in before you go and do a tour of all the bars on the ship. If you're not a drinker or you're just not into paying extra for the grog walk, Persephone starts at 10 p.m. That is a new show. It looks super cool, and so definitely plan around that. If you're looking at some of the other restaurants, they do take a bit of time. So if you are trying to plan around a show, give yourself at least 2 hours prior to the show to have dinner. If you're trying to go to Extra Virgin or The Wake or Pink Agave specifically, because they do take quite a bit of time. And then 11 p.m. is the pajama party. So definitely don't miss out on that. I love the idea of doing the grog walk in my PJs because they end right around the same time. So, and then you're comfy and you're just kind of hanging out with everyone in your pajamas, and it just makes it more fun. So then going into day two is a sea day. So you're gonna be on the ship all day. I would start this off if you're not too hungover from the day before. They've got some great yoga classes early in the morning, starting around 7:30. I would not get up that early, so I would go to like an 8 or 9 a.m. class if I was going to do any working out, and then enjoy a brunch around 10 a.m. around Razzle Dazzle or The Wake, or if you're just wanting something simple, the Galley. Any of that's fun. And then going into the mid-morning section, we have the boy band dance class. So if that's something you're into, make sure you put that on your itinerary. I'll put clips in here. If you've seen my other videos, you've seen these before, but it's super, super fun class. And I actually really like that they do it early in the morning, because on our sailing out of Miami, it was in the middle of the day, like late afternoon, and it was too hot for that. So climate in England is different. So hopefully you won't have the same problems we had. After boy band dance class, grab some lunch, and then at 1 p.m. you have Around the World in 80 Minutes with the Diva. This is one that's on every ship. So if you've seen it already, feel free to skip it. But if you haven't seen it yet, make sure you do stop by for a little bit. This one's typically first come, first served seating. And then at 2 p.m. we have Loteria Gigante. That is an extra charge. So make sure you pay attention to that when you're booking. And if you're not into Loteria, you also have Love, Love, Love with the Hostess at 3 p.m. And then Bingo with the Diva also starts around that time. So up to you how you want to spend your afternoon, but I would try to make it to at least 1 or 2 of those. 4 p.m. you have Dodgeball and Opa Hour. So Dodgeball will be in the sports club, and then Opa Hour will be down at the dock. So whether you're wanting to play dodgeball or go eat some delicious food, you've got options. I really like doing Opa Hour because it's a nice way to like get a snack and get some food in before you go to dinner in the late afternoon, especially if you're doing a later dinner. So, and it's light. You don't feel like you overate anything when you're doing Opa Hour. Another new show that is starting on Resilient Lady is Another Rose. This one is an upcharge, but it's a dinner cabaret. So you don't have to plan dinner that night if you're going to this. They do multiple showings. They do 2 or 3 showings per night. So if you are wanting to do this and you don't get in on a certain day, you'll definitely be able to get in later if you book on the first day. That starts around 7:30 and goes until 9. And then if you are wanting to do an actual dinner that night, I would recommend Pink Agave between 7:30 and 8. At 10 o'clock, you have the Misbehave show. So if that's something you're into, keep an eye out for that. It is very adult humor, adult themed. So if that is not your vibe, you have been warned. But that starts around 10 p.m. And then 10:30 is Club Rubik's, which is an 80s dance party in the Manor, which is gonna be like your club night for the day. Moving on to day 3, we are doing our first stop in Spain. Now, port days, I like doing brunch at the actual restaurants because then you can do bottomless mimosas before you go out and walk around the port. So I would do brunch around 9 a.m., either The Wake or Razzle Dazzle, or if you don't want to do bottomless mimosas, go grab some breakfast in the galley. And you're in port until 5 p.m. that day. So I think you have from 8 to 5 in port. So stay out there as long as you want. Come back and grab lunch on the ship or grab lunch while you're in Spain. We typically, again, come back for Opa Hour around 4:30, which is perfect timing because then you're back 30 minutes before the ship takes off. And you want to make sure you are back on the ship in plenty of time. I've seen a few videos of people that have been on Resilient Lady lately where it has taken about an hour to get everyone back on the ship. And obviously if there's a huge line, they're not going to leave without you, but keep that in mind when you're getting off the ship, that the lines can be long depending on when everyone's coming back. Most people are going to maximize their time there, so the closer you get to sail away from the ports, the longer that line's going to be. So 4:30 p.m. Opa Hour if you're back on the ship by then, and then plan for a 7:30 dinner. This is a great day to do dinner at the wake because you'll be getting on the ship around 5, dinner at 7:30, and you'll get a beautiful view of the wake as you leave out of Spain. You could even do a little bit earlier than that to get a better view, but to me, eating at 6 is sometimes too early. So I prefer to do around 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock. And then at 10:30 p.m. we have Lola's Library, which is new to the fleet, and that is going to be your club night for the night. Day 4, we have part 2 of our journey through Spain. So again, starting out 7:30, you can go up and do some yoga before you get out and wander around town. 9 a.m. brunch, 9:30 brunch, and for this one, we actually get into port later. We get into port around 10 a.m. And obviously this can vary depending on what's going on with docking and all of that. So give or take 30 minutes to an hour. But 10 a.m. plan on getting off the ship. And you have until 6 p.m. to be in this port. And then for this one, they don't really have many events on sea days. So next event I would go to is at 10:30. So plan a dinner at whatever time you like, depending on the different events that are going on. You might want to go see the magician. You might want to go watch some music somewhere, any of those things. So this one, I think you can be a little bit flexible on dinner. Do it a little earlier, do it a little later. Just know if you want to go to club night, it starts around 10:30. And this one is not themed. Day 5, you are in Bordeaux, France. So that one, you are in port from 8:30 to 8 p.m. And if you're in France, go get breakfast while you're in France. That just sounds like it would be so fun to me. So I would plan on doing that right when we board, or right when we get into the port. And you are in port until 8 p.m. So this is a late night one, which is great. And it's also Scarlet night. So keep that in mind when you're planning your day. 7:30 p.m. I would do dinner at Gambé. I love the idea of doing Gunbay on Scarlet night because it gets you kind of into the party mood and you get to meet some other people that you may want to hang out with at the pool party. So 7:30 dinner at Gunbay, and Scarlet night activities start around 9 p.m. So if you're wanting to see any of the behind the scenes of Scarlet night, any of the stories about it, see them setting up for it, doing an earlier dinner that day is a great idea. 7:30 should get you done just in time to see everything that's involved in Scarlet night around 9 p.m. So definitely stick to around 7:30 at the latest, and then depending on the restaurant you're going to. And then 10:30 p.m. is the pool party, which is the main event. So you have plenty of time. If you're not wanting to see any of the extra stuff other than the pool party, you can do a later dinner. But Scarlet night is a do not miss party on the ship. And if you're not big into crowds and you're like, Scarlet night seems overwhelming, come hang out for a little bit, see the beginning of it, and then when it gets too rowdy, go hang out on the dock or go up to the top floor and watch the party from above. It's so fun to watch everything happening that there's not a bad spot to be on Scarlet night. They want to make sure everyone's included. Day 6 is a sea day and our last day on the ship. So starting out with a 10 a.m. brunch. This is gonna be our sleeping day because Scarlet night's wild and you're gonna want to. So brunch at any of the restaurants that do brunch, or the wake, or the galley. I think I ended up doing brunch at the galley the day after Scarlet night because of how much I drank the night before, and that was the best idea I could have had. And then we're just gonna have a take it easy day before we get off the ship the next day. So 11 a.m. is Last One Standing, which is a new comic activity / show. That sounds super cool. And then at that same time is VHS workout. So if you're feeling great and you wanna go enjoy a workout, that's an option. And I would honestly spend the rest of the day by the pool. Chill out, enjoy the sun, get some reading in, and just kind of relax for the day. Maybe do a spa treatment or spend the day in the spa. Totally up to you. Grab some snacks at Opa Hour at 4:30, and then dinner at 7:30. And because this sailing in particular is 6 days, you can do an extra night at any of the restaurants. So I would recommend either pick, if you're gonna book it ahead of time, pick whatever one you think you're gonna like the best, or add test kitchen in there. Or if you're in a smaller group, you can honestly just wing it and say, hey, what's open tonight? Like, let's see where we can fit in. It's totally up to you, but that's kind of the benefit of doing these longer cruises is you get to go to each restaurant more than once and try things more than once. If you are on 5 days or less, you're still stuck with the one restaurant each night for dinner. At 10 p.m. we have another new show called Persephone, so definitely make sure you check that out. That one does look like it goes on every night, but keep an eye on the itinerary for your sailing. I have a link down below of where you can find updated itineraries, and you can kind of keep track of that as you're booking. If you're working with a travel agent, they should be keeping track of that for you and be able to help you book your dining and things like that based on your specific itinerary. But you're welcome to do it too. I give my clients the option, so it's whatever you want to do with it. And then the party for that night is called We Fancy. It is about everything fancy, gold, all things. So if that is your vibe, check that out. The last party of the night typically winds down early because everyone's got to get up early, so everyone kind of takes it easy. But people will be dressed in gold, so feel free to do that if you want to. If you don't have any gold and you don't want to buy anything gold, don't worry about it. Everyone's welcome. It's not a requirement to get in. Just go and enjoy your time. That is it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. If you are sailing out on Resilient Lady anytime soon, let me know in the comments what activity or event or show you are most excited for. I'm always interested to see what everyone is excited for because I get excited for everything, and some people are like, yeah, I could care less about XYZ, I want to do this. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you are the most excited for on your next cruise, whether it's on Resilient later. And if you are looking to book a cruise and you are wanting a travel agent to help you, I would love to help you. I'll put my email in the description, my website's in the description as well. I'll flash it up here too. But I'm happy to help. I'm happy to answer any questions too. If you have any Virgin Voyages questions, feel free to email me. And with that, I think that's it. So we will see you next week. Happy cruising.